Okay, so it's Dame the Real, and I'm gonna talk about my experience with the Maschine MK3. Since I had it, it's been about 5 or 6 years, and it's been all right. It's been cool. So I'm gonna talk about some things like first off, the Maschine MK3 was released in October 5th, 2017, and yeah, it's been quite some time. It's 2025, and yeah, it's held up real good. And the MK1 and the MK2, I believe it was discontinued, so they're not going to get any updates from it. But it is what it is. And all those users that still have the MK1 and 2, they, it's worth the upgrade. But it's been a while. I'm trying to think. What was the first machine release? Probably 2012, probably, because I remember there was like competition with the MPC Renaissance, I think, or something like that, or maybe the MPC Touch. But nevertheless, yeah, the MK3 held up, and it's still getting updates. And now they have the Machine 3 software, which came out about like, yeah, I think it was the end of last year, something like that. But yeah, but it's been cool, and I still got mine here, and yeah, I held it in good condition because there was a point where I wasn't using it a lot. I was like using Ableton. I was using Ableton, so yeah, I have a whole bunch of other MIDI controllers and equipment and everything, but yeah, but as far as the pads, yeah, I like the pads. They're kind of like they're nicely built. And the only thing I would say is like I don't know if it's because it's the one that I have, but I noticed that the first two, the first couple of pads, if it's not on full 16 level or the full, like it's kind of like it's very quiet. Yeah, it's kind of quiet. Like when I hit the kick drum and the snare, it's very quiet. I have to put it on the full level, and I tried to go into the I tried to go into the options, or what do you call it? I think I tried to go into the preferences to adjust it, but like the kick drum, the pads where the kick drums and the expansions, like it just wouldn't respond really. So I would have to end up hitting it hard. I would have to, I would be hitting the pads hard if I wasn't on full 16 level. So that for me, that was like a different feeling, because like with the MPC, you could hit the pads and it'll respond. But you know, but as far as, let me see, the some of the things that I use on the pad a lot is I use the swing, because with this one, you could use a swing and a tempo and everything. But yeah, I use a couple of things often, you know, and as for to all right, to use the machine software as a VST inside another DAW, it's cool. It's not as a fast moving, like the transport, the stop and the play and the record will have to go through the DAW that you're using and everything. But it's actually cool. It's actually better. At first, when I was using the standalone machine two at that time, I still don't have machine two, three. I don't have machine three, but eventually, like the upgrade is pretty much cheap. It's like what, $40 or less. So the machine three, I'm gonna get that. But I enjoy using machine. And as for MIDI, I use the USB. Yeah, I don't use the other midis. These are outs. Like there's outs and in, but as like yeah, I don't use any other As a matter of fact, I'm gonna try that one, very soon. I haven't used keyboards with it because I think on the chord sets and the melodies and everything, it has good scales and everything. So like with the chord sets, the is actually dope. It has all the minors and the majors in scales and everything. So I appreciate that. With Machine, it's definitely dope. Like I think it's better than MPC. So but as far as sampling, do I sample a lot with the machine? Not really. You know, I just use it as like a powerhouse to create like music of like, with chords and melodies and stuff like that. And I use a lot of machine expansions too, but then I started to realize that machine expansions, a lot of them, like if you're doing YouTube and you record and you're making beats and everything, some of the expansions, I think some people might have used them already, and if you use them in the same way, you could get a copyright claim. So beware of that. I had a couple of beats that I made, and I posted them to YouTube while I'm making a beat. But you can check that out too on my channel. But as far as the screens and everything, the two little screens, they're not really that usable. They're only usable for like, you know, when you're just browsing expansions, and I guess you could see a little bit of with the wave samples and the samples that are in the pads and everything. But of course, they do have a Machine Plus, which is a standalone, but they kept the screens the same. So yeah, as a standalone, I couldn't see myself with these screens like using a standalone, but it's okay. I feel like Machine is one of the best like controllers that feels like a standalone. If you know what I mean. And yeah, but as far as the price point, when I bought the Machine MK3, it was about was it five and change? It might have been five or change or six and change. I don't know what the price is now, but for me, that's kind of like a price of maybe like a decent portable portable workstation keyboard. So, uh, but it's cool. It's cool though, And the expansions are pretty much from like $21 or 20 something bucks to like $45, and you could catch a lot of good sales from native instruments. And yeah, and as far as the power to plug in right here, the extra power, it makes the machine light up a little bit brighter. And I'm guessing that like, because there was a time when I was using the machine without the extra power, and especially when you have a computer that's ran down and everything, like I think using it with the extra power could take a load off the computer or your laptop. So that's what I'm guessing. That's the advantage of having it powered up with the extra power. And it's a 15 volt, 1.2 amps. So yeah. And as far as MIDI mode, I think you have to hold down channel, like this first button right here, like channel, shift, yeah, the shift button and channel, and it'll turn into like a MIDI mode. And MIDI mode is like you just use it as a regular controller, but for some things you're gonna have to get the template, the MIDI script, remote script template, and then you have to like set it up how you want it to, depending on what DAW you're using, and it should be all right. But out the box in MIDI mode, it's not even enjoyable. But other than that, yeah. So this is my 5-year experience with the Machine MK3, and it's still getting updates, and it's still relevant. So, you know, that's about it. This is Dave the Real, and this is my experience with the Machine MK3. So, yeah. like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my channel. It's real. Peace.